item. Like, it's not just something
Right.
you just pick up and use. It's not a wand. Hell, even some wands I think take attunement, actually.
I think you're right. She's gonna take it over here. Well, we have to wait for them to pop out anyways, so we could take a rest and I could attune to this and figure out what it is. Or if somebody has removed curse, we could probably just make sure it's not cursed.
Could do, but unfortunately I'm a lot of no curse spells.
You have
You know.
spells? I thought you
No,
said
that's
punch
not.
good.
I was no. I was being sarcastic.
Oh! See, it's hard to...
I can do.
it's hard to
I can
tell.
do that too sometimes.
You're learning. Good job.
I'm trying.
No, the roles have reversed!
you hear Sir Grayson? Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Or you're closer, what'd he say?
I think
don't
he
know.
said a bomb in a tower.
He shakes his head.
Like the card?
God,
Oh, then-
it's hours just
no.
you guys playing fucking charades with the cages.
No, I don't think that's what you said. No, what was it?
Oh.
For what?
He just
Throw it away,
dips his head down like,
Hold the fox, steel rose.
I am holding six.
still.
Third level.
At your touch, all curses affecting one creature and object end. Its curse remains. Well, Rhodes isn't attuned to it yet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The remove curse does, like, it allows you to break or it just severs the attunement instantaneously. So it's not that yeah.
Where's the front?
I'll wait until after attunement in that case.
Okay, yeah.
There it goes.
How many hit dice?
Was
Yeah,
Grayson
that's-
saying throw it away?
Do you guys try to play fucking charades?
I think it was definitely something about the bomb. I heard the bomb. Oh
my
god.
my bad. I fat fingered that.
Did he say abomination?
A bomb in what was it?
Abomination. It sounds like something
Something
he would
about
say
going
in Ocean
forward.
Wars, right?
Yeah, there's something about going forward. I think.
The dead ass is gonna play charades with Sir Grayson.
Sure, fuck it, yeah. Let's do the stupid D&D bit.
If you guys are gonna take a short rest, I could just quote unquote
Yeah,
translate
sure.
it out for you.
Alright, 2 words, 3
Why
syllables.
does it say 109? Oh, because temp HP.
Oh, I just realized I'm floating in midair. When did that happen?
Woo. How much health
Can
do I
I go
have?
back?
No, he was responding that you shouldn't. It's not a good thing to be sarcastic.
Oh.
Oh.
So yeah, I'm assuming you guys just take a short rest. Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yep.
I will chug one more of these.
I too
Oh,
will
another
Oh.
wig potion.
Oh my god.
Holy hit dice, Batman!
Holy shit, that's fucking worthless. Like, actually.
Yeah.
What is that, 12, 17? Wow, he got a whopping 17 hit points. Whoop, it's in one place.
Got 4, 6.
That's actually terrible. Oh, try out for bolstering bond stuff, because that
9.
would be, yeah, that'd
Yes,
be,
yes.
like, it only lasts 10 minutes.
And it's a
plus
well
vitality
used-
boost back.
A few minutes. Bam.
Reminded me, Crash. I know I should
Yes.
remember this, but it's been a while since I used the tobacco from Connor's Tobacco. 1 brick. What is the equivalency?
I believe it was the greater Manex one.
Because I have 1 brick and it says 9 out of 10 uses.
Yeah, so it has 10 uses total, but in terms of the recovering capabilities, I believe it was the equivalencies of a greater Manax potion.
Okay. I will light some tobacco up and have a restorative smoke.
A sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Light up. Let's see,
Mark down a use. Actually, wait, no, wait, big bird. I would say everyone just heal back to full, because Abigail can just use that twice, and that's like 20 rounds worth of healing for like 40 d6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like it's sort of a try point. To the point where I don't even know why I roll for Varric, and now I think about it, I'm just gonna refund all that.
You
Well,
rolled to
thank
see
you,
the all
Abigail.
the ones.
I did.
And
I
what
got
a
a kick out of it.
yeah. What a show that was.
Yeah, you guys heal back to full. And I mark down those. Or if nothing else, she could just use this.
What you're saying is we're healed.
Yeah, healed up.
Yeah, we good.
She gets us back on a short rest anyway, so she just gets that back. So yeah, you guys heal back to full. Except Ruhan and Witch Stalker, actually, because spells can't penetrate.
Yeah, so they're just big chillin'.
Save for Sir Grayson.
I mean, they can just sit down and use their hit die, can't they?
Yeah, they could. And then you guys get 15 temp HP.
Ew.
15?
We like
Yeah,
those.
15. Because she has max charisma and she's level 10.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought you guys were higher level. I don't know why.
I mean, I wouldn't be against it.
When you guys finish the dungeon, sure. So yeah.
Finish it one way or the other.
So okay, let's see. Short rest, and I assume you attune to it over the course of the short rest.
Sure, this won't backfire. Why don't we just ask Helgix what it does? I'm committed.
You could ask Helgix.
Hey, Helgix, what does the creepy fork do?
Yeah, it's just ignore him the entire time. He's like the
Just, like,
fucking
15 minutes later, it's like,
little
oh,
clip
wait.
note. It's a little clip
Clippy.
note. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Hey, it looks like you're
Clippy.
trying to attune to an ancient cursed artifact.
He does not respond if it makes you feel any better.
Oh.
Is that because he doesn't know, he's not allowed to say, or he's actively not saying, so he gets something?
Totally a liar.
Nods. Definitely. Anyways. She's still gonna attune to the thing.
Yeah, like, you know, we'll say like 20 minutes pass. Because I think you guys have had to like do some investigation stuff ever since the fight ended.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me D100.
These fucking bugs. Okay, that's a good roll.
Alright, 37, alright.
15 Chernalock Spear.
What do you roll for 15 when you rolled a 37?
I was dividing by 2, but then it still wouldn't be 15, so I don't know where the number came from.
Fair enough. Alright. Can you roll me a 1d10?
That's an interesting number.
So 50 hours.
Okay.
As you attune to what is referred to as the core control prong, first off, you can now use the core to hold a concentration spell. Like, to hold like the concentration for a concentration spell.
Okay.
The
okay.
core has I believe it was a plus 8? Was it or was it not? It has a plus 8 to its concentration saves. And it has a 20 AC, as we talked about previously. That being said, as you attune to the core control prong, you establish a telepathic mental connection with the core itself. The scaled core. The scaling core, rather. You can query questions over to it, although that is a bit debilitating mentally, as there's a massive influx of energy and information that's flood into your mind, body, and soul as you attune to this.
And I'm guessing it just doesn't have any filter to stop anything.
Correct.
Probably what Hilgex is.
You are afflicted with a sudden weakness and exhaustion. Not the exhaustion thing, the
Okay.
exhaustive feeling. Attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws that utilize strength or constitution are now done at disadvantage for the next 50 hours for you.
Oh god, I made a terrible choice! Strength, dex... Yeah, You say strength and con, or strength, con, and dex?
Strength and con.
Strength and con.
There's another one for dex and int, and another one for wisdom and charisma, and then 2 more tiers after that you do not want to get to.
Terrible.
So, Rose, as you finish attuning to it, you sort of collapse to your knees as your brain and your body is flooded with information and energy, respectively.
I think she just lays on
Or
the ground.
you hear Hagix in your grasp remark, "That was a foolish move."
You know, you could have said something before she collapsed to the ground.
You did not ask.
Ow.
Well,
That's what
I
the fork
suppose.
did.
You asked what it would have done, not what would it cause.
Oh, we're getting
you're
semantics from the
sneaky.
rock.
Why? No. Okay, you're not a liar. You're just a truth. What's the
mission
word?
of truth. A mission of truth.
Yeah, that's it. I was thinking something completely different. But I'm glad you said that.
That's always right.
Oh, well. How are you doing down there? You near death, or are we good to go?
Physically, mostly incompetent for a little while, but God, my fucking head hurts.
Oh,
How many 2 knives do you have, anyways?
This would be the 4th one. Oh wait, I could have 5 because proficiency level. Hey, oh, well, no, because it takes. So I would have 4. So it would be this thing would be the last one, because I had an empty attunement slot anyways. What was it called again?
The core control prong.
Oop. Thank you. Yeah, putting him back in probably would have been smarter.
sorry.
Press this. Press that.
I do have 5 prof.
Because I have the badge.
Well, that takes attunement, so put that in your attunement slots.
Did I not? Oh, it didn't. Okay.
You did not. It causes its own attunement slot, funnily enough, but
What's it called? Badge, the... Not Extinguisher Venion's badge, that's a mask.
Enkindler badge.
Enkindler?
Enkindler's badge.
Proficiency. No.
One of a posse.
Query. There we go. Squirrel. Well, if we want to know... Ow. What this... If we want to know shit from the core, I can ask it.
What was that? Sorry, I was daydreaming there for a second. What?
Amidst this darkness and gloom.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
She's just thinking of butterflies or something, who knows?
Wait, butterflies, Feywilds? Oh god, no.
Man, that must be a really different expression for fairies. I have butterflies in my stomach.
Oh my god. Oh, no thank you. No
Literally
thank you.
figuratively. Yep.
That's so deeply unpleasant.
I would say, if you want, you can disable the force cage for Sir Grayson.
Oh, because it was done by him. Oh.
Yeah, it's not a concentration spell, but I'll give you the capacity to turn that one off.
You just hear Ruhan knocking on the cage.
Yes.
Baba.
Ask it about Onibaba.
Who's talking about Mama?
He starts flapping his arms like wings. Baba.
Dragon Baba.
Flying Mama?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dragon one. Okay. So I see where you're coming from. Dragons and stuff. Yeah. She's gonna disable the cage. Can she lower him before, or put him like
No.
over here? It can't be moved. It can just be turned off. I'll take off.
It's already close enough to try and like. Oh, actually, no. She'd probably come off with him, wouldn't she?
Yeah, he's like...
Yeah.
than you
Just
and
like
wearing
he's
heavy
a lot.
armor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Body
got
mass
you.
wise, no.
So Grayson just does like a rescuer's dive, which is like he crosses his arms and like just plunges deep into the water.
Can he swim? I thought that's how much.
Oh god, I didn't think of
That
that.
fancy teleport.
I'm pretty sure he can swim.
But that
Are-
armor is quite heavy.
He's a strong guy.
Is he still underwater?
He has a swim speed of 35, so
Oh, Jesus.
he
Okay.
can swim better than any guys.
Also, are you guys just gonna stay on the core?
Ruhan just sort of like has his hand on his chin. Okay,
Okay, even I didn't know what that was.
There are creatures in the water.
Oh, good. Great. What are those things?
Okay, am I able...
I counted 5 in total.
Yeah, we saw them too.
Ugh.
Oh, I don't want to. I don't like that.
Rose
Are
asked
they like
the
the
core
insect people?
what those things are. Doesn't know what those
You-
things are.
You had to specify what those things are.
The 5 creatures that he saw in the water. Could you describe it a little more? Or did you guys not really see anything?
They were large creatures, but I could only see their silhouettes.
Large creatures are like... How about, protective... protective means for guarding the core. Yeah, because you look up, like, different information on, like, what was installed to protect the core. What people or items were.
Make me a charisma check.
Oh boy, this is gonna be fun, guys. So
Can I try and get up? Oh, well.
Well, nothing bad happens. More of you just don't get an answer. When you talk about what are some things that
Vaguely.
could protect the core, it tells you about every single facility defense in the entire project's operational facility.
Ow, 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 too much. Okay, stop, hold on.
Yeah, you basically have Google in the core,
Okay.
except it has no safe search on it.
Oh god! The amount of terrifying. Anyways. Okay. Specificity is very good in this case.
Rose,
Yes.
what is the lost essence of true ascension?
Yeah, that's not specific enough. She'll give that question a shot. Yep. What is it?
The core is.
The core. Just gestures at the core. It's like, well, that's the lost essence. Is just the core itself.
Oh, cool. I'm not just standing
You
on top
are
of it.
in-
That's fun.
Control of the core at the moment.
To some degree.
So, hypothetically, if we were to put
Let's make me one more
Helgix.
charisma check. But keep
Sure.
going.
Helgix back in the box, in the hole,
Guidance is on. So
how would that work?
Ooh.
So,
Then we just go to the list of crits.
she contemplates that
Good.
for a moment while also making this charisma check. Yes, what would happen?
This is like what you ask the core. It's like how to say. It's like a core principle that you're looking at, like a tenet, like a pillar.
Right.
The premise is a bit. It's simultaneously more abstract, but also very physical than you might imagine. The lost essence in question, you get this info from the core, is knowledge. Like, it's a specific facet of knowledge. So it's more than just some power. It's not like a magical egg you swallow and then you become more powerful, although that is sort of the case for Rays, but that's besides the point. Not an egg, that's blood. But it is essentially knowledge. Knowledge of how to do some esoteric ritual.
Uh-huh.
And the core is a conglomeration of knowledge. Every bit of research that's ever been done for the new Union project.
Okay. Interesting. What? Sorry, Raze, I was zoned out there for a second. What'd you ask? AK Garth forgot what he asked.
Happen if we put back in the put Helgix back in the box, in the core.
Yeah, she'll shoot. I mean, you could ask Helgix. I'll ask the core. It's probably easier. Yeah, she'll ask, like, what is Helgix's function when it relates to the core?
Helgix is just an extension of the core.
Alright, he's just a fraction of it.
He'd be like the hard drive you put back with the rest of the server.
Okay, so he just has data on there. Can she see, like, if there's any records of someone trying to absorb all the information of the core, and what happens?
Ooh, that's another... That definitely is another charisma check.
Oh boy. Well, at least I have a good charisma. Oh my god, again?!
Alright.
I thought it glitched for a second.
Okay.
Just roll good.
Mm-hmm.
Just roll good. No one has ever tried to absorb all the knowledge of the core. The core, if anything, would like probably kill them.
Yeah.
As an effect that you've just felt right now. Yeah, yeah. There have been experiments done where willing volunteers have tried to do what you're doing right now and like connect with the core and try to, how to say, siphon its knowledge and power, but like in a controlled manner. There are cases of people's minds are slowed, their sense of reality and self shaken. They begin to reject reality, or in the worst case, their bodies and minds are unable to cope. But there are some cases where no one is affected or debilitated tremendously.
Okay.
So, if you're curious what I mean by that, I have a table right here. 1 to 20, 21 to 20 to 40, 41 to 60, 61 to 80, 81 to 90, 91 to 100. Feeble flesh, slowed mind, shaken core, reject reality, and failure to cope.
I'm so glad I didn't roll a 99 this time.
It wouldn't be that bad. You would just fall unconscious for 1d4 days and can never be stirred awakened from it, and one of your attributes is decreased by 1d2 plus 1. Permanently.
She goes into a coma and then wakes up weaker. Great.
81 to 90 would have been the Ori treatment.
Who are you?
What are you?
Yeah, you
We
get
can be
logged
friends.
different debilitating effects that, to be fair, the experiments aren't extensive. Like, it's not even enough to give it a full statistical fairness, which is a sample group of at least 20. Or sample size of at least 20, rather. It's not even that. Like, it was a very rarely pursued experiment. Just because people...
after the few times it happened, it was just like, this is really bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
The core control prong is a part of the core as well.
Okay.
It's supposed to be in the middle of it. Like, it floats in the core. Literally in the core of the core. The center of it. In the gap in between.
So, those
Hey,
guys...
Helgix, let me ask you one thing. Why do you want Severocides gone, dead?
Severocides is a failed experiment. Gone wrong. Unleashed. It needs to be contained.
Were you involved with his experiments initially?
Initially, I do not know.
Do I want to check the
But my-
core to see what that is? Go on.
Roll insight.
Sure. I can...
But my programming dictates
Insight
that
is insane.
errant projects, experiments that break our confidentiality, and he processes it for a second, and our morals need to be terminated.
So you have
9?
an-
Wait, 9.
Well, it'd be +4 because guidance.
Yeah, okay, guidance, yeah. 13? He's telling the truth. He was not a part of it initially. For all you know, he might have gleaned that info just from being around for a long period of time. And being in proximity of the various stuff. Yeah, what I mean.
Yeah. Could she dig into the core and see what information there is about the Pherocytes? That'd probably be
That's
a
it.
lot.
That one actually doesn't require a charisma check.
Really? Okay.
The more specific you are, the less it floods you with info.
That makes sense. So it's like, here's this specific research project on this specific topic. It's like, alright, you're good.
It's like Googling exactly the thing you already know what the name of is.
Yeah.
Quotation marks.
Yeah, imagine Googling Bulbasaur versus Googling weird frog turtle plant thing.
Living lettuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it'd be a hell of a different query process for Google to figure out, and you're part of the processor now. Alright, that being said, my stomach is acting up, so I'll be right back. But hey, if you guys want to,
Make a list of things.
think of any questions. That sounds evil, group think. That's like 1984 shit. If you want to think as a group of any questions, feel free to.
I spelled that
I'm curious
wrong,
if there's a way to destroy the core.
I was
Yeah.
on the other end of the scale of, is there a way to, like, compress it down and move it?
Yeah.
Or is
I think
Garth
Race wants to find out. He wants to know
how to destroy
if it's
this whole
possible for him to ascend and what he needs to do in order to do that. Then he wants to know how to destroy the core. That's what he's thinking about.
thing. What about what a conduit
Yeah.
is? Because
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Good catch, Garth.
Can't
What?
steal the information because you couldn't hold it all.
What is the metallic and chromatic, respectively, conduit?
Very good, very good. And Drakenbaba's on that list as well at the top because O said it first. Is Ori interested in anything in here?
I mean, beyond what's directly under our feet.
You don't
I
have
think
to
also,
stand
like,
on it.
Well, I mean, I'm currently floating above it. No, I'm going to stay where I am in case we do end up plugging her back in or something. But
Fair.
what was I going to say? Oh yeah, because he wants to get rid of Versera.
It's a very fancy-
Pherocytes.
Yes, that word.
it's a very fancy word.
Yes. So, because I think we were talking at the beginning of the game about getting rid of it ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we were to plug him back in, would he just do the job for us? Or
I
at
don't
least...
think he has the resources to do that. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's like telling Google, please destroy this demon in the basement.
Yeah. Well, mind you, it was mentioned that they had defenses, right, inside the place.
True.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah,
Not sure
so if he's able to access that in some googly way,
We're ordering a drone
Maybe.
strike on it.
yeah, essentially, a fantasy drone strike.
Okay. Activate defense.
Or at
What
very least we can...
assistance? Here's a very specific question, Garth, for you to not get brain fried. In the event that we as a party engaged in battle with Pherocytes, what assistance can Helgex offer if reunited with the core?
Okay. Well, he has been separate from the core, so he's been able to observe the Pherocytes outside of it. So maybe that
Mm-hmm.
his interest, he wasn't with it initially.
Or what assistance can the core offer?
Tap slash assistance for offer. But imagine having something that could hold concentration for you. To be fair, like, I have a lot of concentration spells. Having a second concentration holder would be pretty fucking dope.
Oh, I
Having
know
Spirit
that.
Guardians and Beacon of Hope up at the same time?
Oh, dog.
Oh yeah.
Downside, Raze would not want to use this thing, probably, would he?
No.
Yeah. I want to look at Rose's ideals and stuff to understand how she would think of this situation.
But yet, to reiterate, I can do words. To reiterate, Race wants to know if it is possible for him to ascend,
Mhm.
what that entails, and how to go about achieving that.
And I'm back.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay. Well, here.
I think
so
so.
calm after using the
Yep.
toilet.
No, I just realized how exhausted I am.
Oh god. Okay, let's start with, since Ruan asked first, I feel it's only fair that we ask about Draken Baba and see if there's any information in the core about that.
Thumbs up.
Okay. Let's see.
Not the whole cult, not cult, no. Coven, that's the word, starts with C.
I
Or
would
whole
use the
coven,
word
just
cult.
I mean, yeah, probably. That's probably why my brain said, it's a cult. It's like, well, you're not wrong, but you're not right.
Let's see. Draken Baba.
If it would know anything.
Archfey. Major rival to the new Unity project. Experiments with very little purpose. More of a trial and error experimentation, which one might say isn't experimentation at all in certain cases.
It's very brute force.
Very brute force, done sometimes out of amusement, as opposed to scientific or research purposes. Has a draconic form of her own, unsurprisingly.
What form does it
Shares
take?
a same parentage with two other, archfey. The same parent, or a similar parent. Let's see. What
Does it
else?
specify that the two others are the other Babas, or am I just assuming there?
Do you ask?
Yes.
They are.
Okay. Clarity's pretty good there.
Resides in the wild Fey parts of the Fey Wilds. That's not too surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Has shackled 5 chromatic dragons and 2 metallics.
Okay. Can I ask it if it knows which which specific dragons they are?
Hopper and Brass.
What about the chromatic ones? I'm guessing they have one of each, basically.
Correct.
Did the organization ever... Was the organization's goal to just avoid conflict with it? Or did they actively try to destroy it?
Avoid conflict entirely, they'd lose.
Okay. Did it have any protocol in case conflict did occur?
Release everything.
Fair. Okay, you know what? So, oh, damn. Damn, that really puts in perspective how strong that fucker is. Ah, yes, we're just trying to ascend to godhood. Don't fuck with that thing, though.
Try.
So how... Yeah.
Try.
Try to. That's a good point. How did... Is there any records on how she ended up capturing all these dragons?
None. The dragons are ancient. Records don't go back that far.
Fair.
And they're not exactly the same when they were captured as what they are now.
What form does she take
I would track.
when she becomes a dragon? Or is it just recorded that she turns into a dragon?
Maybe she could turn to any type of dragon.
Oh, she can just do whatever she wants. That makes sense.
Not because she is of a particular draconic capacity. It's more that she is an outright shape changer
Okay.
that favors her dragon form. She does command a good bit of respect in the midst of the Wild Fae, as probably the Wild Fae's last and only, well, up until recently, was the last and only source to getting Fae dragons back to the Wild Fae. Fairy dragons. Not that she ever really got around to it. She always said maybe. Maybe I'll get around to it.
She said
and she
it's
never
possible.
did. It's possible, and she would have been their only hope.
Right. So no one to fuck with it.
Correct.
Obi-Wan
Up until
Kenobi.
recently.
Does it have records of what up until recently changed it?
It talks about a silver dragon that now has fairy dragon capacities.
Aha. Oh, that's probably bad for the silver dragon.
It is. It puts Draken Baba and the Wild Fae Emissary at ends.
Hmm.
That being said, actually, no, never mind. Actually, I'll give you an intelligence check.
Sure, I can throw one of those out there. And, well,
All is well in the world. Moving on with our lives.
so as you were saying. Okay. Does O have any specific questions? What are
I'm
his
in a force
weaknesses?
gauge, but I do.
I think you guys can probably pantomime questions out at a certain point, or like write it, or like etch it somewhere.
Or use the earrings, if those work.
They do
Oh
not. They
no.
do not.
Well,
Spells
yeah,
that
no.
go through a force cage are ended.
Do you have pen and paper? Anyone?
Well, it matters if he
I
has pen and paper,
assume-
which he definitely does.
I was just saying, I assume Ruhan does.
That definitely does.
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys can just ask
the
questions.
core be used to hold Varric's soul if he gets killed.
Ooh,
And
big brain.
I mean, it has the capacity to hold soul, but Ferric's an interesting scenario. She'll posit the question.
All right, make me a charisma check because that's a pretty. Because it doesn't know who
That's
Varish is.
Okay, then we might have to specify afterwards. And
That's like
21 is
Google.
respectful.
Can you hold my buddy keeps his soul? Who the fuck is Keith? 21? Yeah, it has no clue who Varric is, so that's not even good. I'm not even render that part of the question into this. Can it hold souls? Yes.
Okay, specify.
It's probably holding a number of souls right now, actually.
Okay, tweak the question.
This is.
You probably just need to.
This isn't the same as the old craft because it's not using. Okay, it sort of is, it sort of isn't. It is definitely using the souls of powerful things, or just a lot of things, more likely, to fuel itself. But it also is capable of growing that power. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crystals in it will grow, they'll expand. Like things will crystallize in the geode, and it'll become more powerful. So, sort of yes or no about being a product of Warcraft, but yes, it can hold souls. Will it not hold Varric's soul? Who knows? That requires experimentation. In fact, Helgix says so. That specific avenue would require experimentation.
And that experimentation would potentially be dangerous to his health.
Correct.
She'll ask would you be interested in would you be interested in trying to figure out if it could, or do you want to just leave that alone?
I don't think there's really much stopping anything. It's stuck in my chest.
True. Is there any... if I just ask if there's any records of Shards events, it's gonna be a lot of legends. Is there any records of experimentation on Shards events?
There are none.
Okay.
They've never gotten their hands on them.
Okay. In that case, that's...
That'd be crazy. Imagine the verified.
it's like, oh yeah, there's a shard inside the thing.
Yeah, imagine if it had the same depth disintegration beam that the fucking Corsair Fiend had. Dude, that'd be
Jesus.
wild, dude.
Oh
When-
my god.
When at that point it would just be fucking one of the bosses from Dark Souls 3, the last dragon. in Dark Souls 3 who has a breath attack and it can laser beam you. That's fair.
Dragons goes.
Yeah.
Okay, what? Let's.
Would you like to know more?
Yes. Raise would desire to know. Oh.
I am raised, by the way.
Well, yeah, I don't. Can she asked the core if it can hear people talking around it.
Fear is a really subjective term.
Is it?
It can detect its surroundings, yes. It doesn't exactly have ears to hear with.
Does the core
So
have
Ross,
like? Go on.
talk about the Dragonborn standing next to you then.
This fella, the Dragonborn standing next to me.
There you go.
Is there the capability for Dragonborns to ascend into Dragonhood?
That was amongst the experiments made.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's gone.
With varying degrees of success.
Okay. And what about the varying degrees of
Some
failure?
got to a more Drake-like state as opposed to like dragon-esque.
Alright.
Some changed too quickly, too suddenly, and couldn't change back. Even if dragons normally have a shape-changing capacity, that is not something that they gained when they changed form. Because they're already sort of shape-changed. They're basically polymorphed, I guess is a better way of saying it.
Right.
Although not in a true sense. Or deep sense, rather.
So kind of like stuck in the physical form, but without the grandiose
Yeah,
benefits.
and more often than not, those cases that couldn't come back lost their minds.
Usually went crazy.
Yeah. So they became more bestial dragons.
What about... Was there a recorded instance where it was like just 100% successful? Like this person just became
Oh
a
no,
red
there's no
dragon?
100% successes anywhere in this
Well,
facility.
okay, that was a stupid question, honestly. The core just responds back, are you stupid?
There are cases of them being successful.
Okay.
But they noticed this capacity was amongst people that already had some sort of shape-changing capacity in the first place.
Hey. Can be
So,
done
like,
again.
so they're a bit more, like, used to it. It's a bit more natural, in a sense, and they were just sort of guiding the change path, the evolutionary path,
Okay.
or accelerating it.
Yeah, she'll tell him that, knowing that he can change shapes and stuff. It's like, actually, you specifically are a very good conduit for that. Yeah, it seems like if you naturally have the ability to change to some degree, they can kind of angle it, guide
What
it
is the
in a direction.
process for that then, specifically?
Specifically? Yeah, she'll see what the research, the processes for that was.
There are two main ones.
Okay. I'm guessing one for father, one for
One
mother.
was the I forgot the transfusion. That's the term. The transfusion of dragon blood, like full on dragon blood into the person, and their
Right.
body would sort of accept it. Yes, there were multiple cases of people's body rejecting it. Yes, 100% that happened, and you don't want to know. But there are cases where the body will accept it, and thus the avenue is unlocked to them. Again, this is keeping in mind that they already had some sort of shape-changing capacity. It just opened up the avenue to them.
Okay.
An overexposure to the dragon's physiology. To the point where it's sort of the magic and mentality of the caster, the changer rather,
Ah, here.
sort of perceives themselves as draconic at that point. I should say, not all the people that were shape changers and stuff like that were dragonborn. Like that is like
It's
for
just
this
if
specific
you're
facet
able
of
to change
experiment.
shapes.
Yeah, they figured shape changers would have a better time of it.
Makes sense.
They did. Like a non-magical dragonborn, like a dragonborn that's just like a fighter. Yeah, he's not getting any easier time on this than like a fucking human fighter. Like that doesn't fucking matter.
So it's not based on your genetics, it's based on your capacity to just naturally change.
It's based on your magical capability, correct?
Okay.
Because dragons are innately magical creatures.
Okay. What was the second path?
The second avenue was a bit more. Well, not that transfusion isn't physical, because that's like this was a bit more condensed physicality, and this one is particularly for Dragonborn. Is the replacing of their scales a very painful and slow process. They would have to get a normal dragon scale, break it down surgically, and implant it into a Dragonborn. Until a similar process as the other one occurred, except in a more blood holds magic to it. Blood is blood. The body was a bit less, well, not a bit, a considerably bit less likely to reject this process, but it also takes a long amount of time, and the amount of potential, not infection, but yeah, there's a lot of things that could go wrong amidst the process that takes so very long. And there's also a thing that the body might outright reject it and try to grow its original scales back. So you're basically trying to graft scales from an actual dragon to you to trick your mind, body, and soul into thinking that you are a dragon, and then suddenly you now have powers of a dragon.
Okay.
Or at least in some bastardized partial sense, yes. It's a very butcher shop. These two avenues are very butcher shop ways of experimentation, but they were the best resulted.
Best avenues.
Rose.
Yeah.
Ask if there be multi-chromatic or metallic specimens on record.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, she would ask pretty much that exact wording.
On record in existence, yes. In record in terms of capture, no.
Okay. So they exist. Ed. Do they still
sort
exist,
of like
or
mutants.
did they exist? Okay.
I mean, they might still exist, who knows?
What about dragons that are both metallic and chromatic?
Both?
Yes.
That's when the
nature.
chromatic catalysts come in.
Dragons. Multicolored dragons. Is there any record of chromatic conduits? Or I'm guessing, since I misremembered the word, and it's actually catalyst, not conduit.
Oh, it's conduit.
Oh, it is conduit.
They're used interchangeably.
Okay.
Ah,
Because you're sort of both, you're conduit and catalyst.
makes sense.
Yeah. In the records, they're used interchangeably. Maybe you yourself don't know that, but for future reference, in the record, the archiving of that information in the core, they're used interchangeably.
Gotcha. So what are those?
Actually, make me an intelligence check,
Sure.
and I'll give you an inverse of DC of 30.
What's
Which
a
one?
DC?
Just roll an intelligence check.
Sure. Okay then.
So your DC is 7 on a charisma check.
I mean, I can roll a 1 and still miss it.
Never
Don't
said
say
that.
it.
So I rolled a 3.
Yeah, see, we don't bring those statistics up.
Her brain power is going full tilt, and it's like, oh wait, shit.
That is something to know. They are used interchangeably in research, but when you actually go think about query up, are they actually the same? Yes and no. Used in research, they're the same. Yes. They actually use those sorts of people and capabilities as not mulch. That'd be a very non-scientific way of describing it. But there's a reason they're used as catalysts, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Sometimes they volunteered, sometimes by force. Anything in the name of science, though.
Catalyst is a power. Okay.
So they are one and the same. It's just that, depending on what process, or I guess which researcher is in charge, they might refer to them as different things.
Okay.
As the jumpstart catalysts, or as conduits of energy, of power. So let's see. What was your previous question? I skipped past it.
Basically, it was just what I guess what are metallic or chromatic conduits was how she would have phrased it. Or if there's any research generally at all. Like the first prod of just like, does this exist? Yes. Okay. Now we dig into it.
Viewed as sort of gifted, lucky, or cursed, burdened, who knows, draconic creatures. Like anything of like a draconic, even slight lineage has a not genetic, spiritual luckiness that it might happen to them. It's not a mutation, but it's a chance. Estimates put it at 1 in 100,000. Although to be fair, they don't have the best sample size from the people they did have.
Right.
So yeah, 1 in 100,000, and this development can be squashed. It could be smothered. It could be neutered.